Hey, Coach, how are you?
I wish I had a background as nice as you. That's beautiful.
Downtown White Plains. How you doing? How's spring practice going for you this year?
I love this group. It's going really well. Having a lot of fun.
Good afternoon, Tucker. Charles Grievous here.
Charles, how are you?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you?
Great.
Well, I guess I'll jumpstart since everyone's kind of paused for a moment. I guess when I look up the word common denominator, your picture kind of pops up in the dictionary. I mean, you've been here at West Point through an assortment of head coaches from Todd Berry to now obviously Coach Monken. Can you point maybe to perhaps maybe one or two moments that have been the highlight of your tenure at West Point, not only as a football coach, but maybe even a non-football related perspective?
Well, my picture pops up in the dictionary by old as well, so it means I've been here a while. You know, it's been I don't even know how many years. It's roughly 20 years, but it's been a great run. And you know, the academy games are the best memories for sure on the football field. And you know, beating Navy for the first time in a long time was a great one. But anytime you win an academy game, it's a great memory. And I think that another thing that I really enjoy is seeing guys that I've coached come back and work here. That's another special deal. In Mike Vitti and Ray Maples and guys like that, it's fun to watch them grow up and come back and say some of the same things that you had taught them years ago, and from time to time even admit that I was right once in a blue moon while they were here. So
Awesome. And my follow-up question is, you have an impressive group of returning slot backs from Robinson, Walters, Howard, I think Murphy, Marshall, just to name a few. Can you talk about their progression this spring, and have there been any of the younger guys who I didn't mention that have caught your attention?
So competition is a beautiful thing. All those guys can play. They can all do everything that's required of the position. And man, is it fun to watch them work every day. They're such hard workers, and they get better every day by pushing each other. The other guy that is doing a really nice job and is injured at the moment, but not for long, is Tyler Brennan. He moved over from receiver late in the fall and has the skills to be one of those guys eventually. And he's just kind of stepped in there and followed their lead, and he's really doing a fine job. I hope to get him back for the scrimmage on Saturday.
Great, awesome. Thanks, Tuck.
Yes, sir.
Coach, just ask you about a couple more of the players, AJ Howard, Brandon Walters. They've been at the position a while, veterans. How is their game developing this year?
AJ is doing a fantastic job, better than he's ever done, of understanding the whole offense and how he fits into the scheme of things. And you know, Brandon's like a coach on the field. You know, we messed up a play call the other day in the offensive practice and meant to call something we're running this year and called something that we ran last year, and he ran it last year. He was the only guy in the field that remembered what we had done, so he was the only guy that was right. And he's just a fantastic guy to work with. I texted his high school coach John Ivelo at Bolingbrook a couple weeks back and just raved about him because he had such a good practice that day, and we're so happy to have him here. And the other guys in the group just follow everything that he does, and he's a great leader for our group.
And how do you see Tyrell Robinson's spring practice going? I certainly showed a lot in the fall. He seemed like he attracted a lot of attention from the defenses. How is his spring going?
He's a very talented young man and is doing a terrific job, and I would say he's really gotten better this offseason in the pass game as a receiver and running precise routes, and as well as he's always been a good blocker, but knowing who to block and how to block them and the techniques we need to use in every certain situation, he's improved drastically that way as well. Terrific with the ball, obviously.
Absolutely.
Coach Aaron Summers here with Behind the Lines. Last season, the team obviously did phenomenal rushing overall, top of the NCAA. How do you kind of build off of that? How do you raise the bar for this upcoming season?
Ancient history, Aaron. So that we'd forgotten all about that. And I think this offense, this scheme of offense, allows us to do a good job of taking what the defense gives us. So I think, you know, you don't set out to break last year's rushing records or last year's passing records, but you have a scheme and a whole package together that allows you to be successful in whatever is dictated by the defense that week. So I think that we're becoming even more well-rounded than we were offensively, and the guys are taking a lot of ownership in that and doing a great job.
Kind of following up with that, without Sandon McCoy, is it going to be kind of be back by committee that takes on kind of his yards and his production from the past few years?
Well, Sandon did a great job for us. But you look across the practice field at Coach Vidi's line, and there's about 20 guys right behind him that can play just as well as any of the guys we've had lately. So the future is very bright at that position. I'll let Mike do the specifics on it, but he's got a lot of guys that can really play.
Coach, working with it, you had 5 or 6 quarterbacks in last year, and you've got a bunch that are working, competing for playing time this year. Coordination of the pitch play is so fundamental to that role. How do you see that working this spring? Coordination, quarterbacks and the slot backs.
Well, to be honest with you, Ken, I don't even take my eyes off the slot to know who's in at quarterback. So trust Cody to do an unbelievable job like he always has with those guys. And there's not one of them that can't do what we're asking them to do. But it's been, as far as executing the offense along those lines with getting the ball pitched, it's been really, really good for us, I think, so far.
Is that where the slot backs need to be, like basketball players, good hands to be able to grab the ball so securely, and then be able to start their run, start their play?
I don't know so much about basketball, but we like to think we'll take the fastest guys out there in the recruiting class and teach them the rest of it. So we got a lot of guys that can run, a lot of track guys, a lot of fast guys.
Sure.
Hey, Tucker, how's it going?
Good, Sal. How are you?
I'm great. Can you, Brandon Walters as a blocker, what can you say about his blocking? I don't know if I want you to rank where he falls in the slot backs that you've coached at West Point, but how important has his, maybe when you say following, the guys following his lead? I know he's really worked on the blocking at slot back a lot. So
he doesn't look like much, but he's a terrific blocker. He threw a block in the Air Force game on the perimeter that was right in front of T-Rob. That was a big play in the last drive, a pitch play going to the left, and knocked the guy down and led to a big play. So, but I would say the best thing about Brandon is his consistency. I mean, he shows up as a professional every single day and gets the most out of his ability. And you can't help, as another player on this team, to look at that guy and just say, I have a lot of respect for that guy, and I want to be like that guy. I want to do what he does and work as hard as he does. And the results are there.
Saw your post over the weekend on Parkinson's, and I responded to it. Can you talk about that platform and how you've used it? I remember talking to you about football has really helped you through it. Can you just talk about how you keep on using that Parkinson's platform for good?
Absolutely. So I guess I always forget the date. It was 2015 or 2016 Army Navy week that I was diagnosed. And to be honest, Sal, it's been a blessing of sorts to me, as far as keeping my eye on the ball in life of what's really important. Right. So not that I didn't do that before, but it certainly is an eye opener for you. So, I tweeted this weekend about Parkinson's Awareness Month. I don't feel like I need anything. I forget that there's something wrong with me most of the time, but I do feel like there's people out there that could benefit from, obviously funds and the Michael J. Fox Foundation and stuff like that. So I just wanted people to be aware of the disease that is out there, and that this was the month to do something about it. The response is overwhelming. Like I said, I forget there's anything wrong with me most of the time, but the players are so great, and the recruits are so great, and the parents are so great, and it makes me really feel like I'm in the right place. And the job has been fantastic. What better job could you have than to be surrounded by the national champions of toughness every day to pick me up when I have a bad day? So I love working here. Coach Munkin's been unbelievable. The players are unbelievable, and I have the best job in the world to have Parkinson's disease. So things are going well. Thank you, Fred.
Tucker, on that vein, since you went public with it a couple of years ago, are people reaching out to you, whether within the football community or elsewhere?
Other than a little bit of support from those people that I just mentioned, not so much. I mean, I think that people think I'm just a normal guy, and I think I'm just a normal guy and forget there's anything wrong most of the time. So people are, when it does come up, people are terrific. Like I said, Coach Munkin's been great. The staff is unbelievable, support me, and the players as well. So, and the recruits, it's really, really really fun to have them discover that. And that's a great age of young people in this country right now. They do a great job.
Tucker, what are you looking for in a slot back? Are you recruiting a person and then make them into a slot back, or are you finding specifically maybe they played it before?
We're looking for fast guys with a little bit of length that obviously fit into the academy and obviously are leaders in their school and tough guys and love football and good students, but we'll teach them how to do all the skills associated with playing the position. But starting with a fast guy is a good place to start for sure.
Would you consider it one of the more challenging positions?
I think it is a challenging position to play, which makes it a lot of fun for the guys. You know, they have to be intricately involved in the run game, the pass game, pass protection. And there's a lot of stuff going on there, probably as much as any position on the field, you know, besides the quarterback. So it's fun because there is so much involved in it. And you do, like we talked so much about Brandon Walters, have to be a great student of the game. Like we did a few new things today, and they did a great job of taking the meeting to the practice field, and Brandon was certainly at the lead of that. So that, you know, you have to be a good student of the game to be successful at the position for sure.
Tucker, to get to have spring ball this year, just, you know, from your perspective, having been around Army for all these years, how important is it to get a good spring practice in? And do you see much more progress now than we saw a year ago?
Yeah, it was very frustrating a year ago for all of us, obviously, but spring practice is a huge deal. From just what I was saying with the last question there of learning, you know, the different schemes on you know, on special teams, on offense, on defense, and it's critically important, and it feels so good, and it's so much fun to be around this team right now and be out here practicing. You know, we get 15 days, and they are certainly making the most of it so far.
Coach, what is recruiting like for you in reaching out to prospects, traveling, visiting high schools and prep schools? What is that experience like for you?
It's a great time right now. We're a winning program that's the #1 public school in the world. That's what I like to say. So there's a lot of interest right now, and it's fun to talk about West Point. I've been here basically my entire professional career, so talking about West Point is a lot of fun. You know, you're selling the institution and all the good things associated with it, and they're true, right? So it's an easy place to sell, and the best part's going to be when the dead period's over with and everything is relaxed and the recruits can travel again, because seeing West Point is a very powerful experience, and getting to know our players is obviously the best part of the recruiting process. So when the guys can come to us, that'll make it even better, hopefully this summer.
Absolutely.
Tucker, you've worked through several administrations, as you said earlier. What's the key to adapting to new head coaches and such, you know, as far as your role goes?
I've worked for some tremendous head coaches here, and in fact, learned a little bit from all the different ones, and certainly respect each one that I've worked for. We got the best one right now, though. He's a tremendous job. He's taught me so much about the game. You know, Coach was a slot back coach for a long time, and has taught me a lot about that position. And the guys in the hallway, all they have to do to learn how to work at West Point is watch what Coach Monken does. He is a tireless recruiter and a great coach and a great motivator. And I'm so fortunate to have worked for him for I guess it's been 6 or 7 years now, and things are really going well under his leadership. So, but all of them that I've worked for have been great people and great coaches. I've enjoyed every one of them.
2 more questions. Unless we're good.
One more. Tucker, do you have advice for younger coaches? Let's say somebody 22, 23, 24 trying to get in a college game for the first time. What's your advice to young coaches and what they should do?
My best advice to a young coach is keep your eye on the job that you have and do a great job wherever you are. And don't worry so much about your future and the next move, and surround yourself with good people and just do a great job when you come to work every day. And coach at West Point one day.